From prime ministers to royalty, world leaders are heading to Beijing. Chinese President Xi Jinping is hosting more foreign dignitaries than ever and spending much less time abroad. The South China Morning Post looked at data beyond travel logs to analyze what is behind this diplomatic shift.
So the research began with compiling data dating back to 2013 as we tracked Xi's diplomatic schedule across different regions in order to identify patterns in the head of state diplomacy. From Xi's diplomatic schedule, we can see a pattern that Beijing is increasingly engaging with neighborhood diplomacy and European middle powers. That also comes as Beijing is favoring high-level multilateralism and increasingly adopting a model of home court diplomacy.
It is a strategic shift indicating that China is growing confident enough to have the world come to it. There was a time when Xi was one of the most traveled leaders on the planet. Like many other world leaders, Xi did not leave his home country during the COVID-19 pandemic between January 2020 and September 2022. He only made 4 overseas trips in 2023. Then 10 the following year. And in 2025, it went back down to 4, with stops in 6 countries: Vietnam, Malaysia, Cambodia, Russia, Kazakhstan, and South Korea. Meanwhile, the number of world leaders visiting China has rebounded vigorously since the pandemic. Beijing hosted a record-breaking 56 state visits in 2024 and 44 state leaders in 2025.
So far in 2026, the disparity is stark, as we see Xi has hosted 10 high-level visits, but he didn't make any foreign visits so far.
Diplomacy experts say those foreign leaders have been driving much of the traffic.
They all want to go to China to seek economic, trade opportunities. And of course, the latest developments of China, especially its progress in electronic vehicles, robotics. So I think foreign leaders really want to go and take a look, to see how China has made such progress and how the global crises have affected China's economy. And also they talk about Xi Jinping's anti-corruption campaign for a long time. They also want to see how this anti-corruption campaign has shaped or changed China's domestic politics.
The analysts see more than just scheduling shifts.
Home court diplomacy means that a country conducts diplomacy on its own turf, which includes welcoming foreign leaders for bilateral summits or for major multilateral and international events. All countries do it, actually. Recently, China has done it more frequently, perhaps. That's why it has caught attention of many observers. China does it for a number of reasons. For example, it gives China the opportunity to set the agenda.
By hosting foreign leaders in Beijing, China is able to control the protocol, the setting, and most importantly, the narrative. Also, when the foreign leaders travel to Beijing, they are the ones who are trying to seek meeting with the Chinese leader. This is a strong signal showing their interest in seizing opportunities to cooperate with China.
Being the host on its own soil, China can also help to avoid potential embarrassment that could be associated with leaders' visit overseas. For example, if a Chinese leader is visiting abroad, some protests break out and people shouting slogans against China, that will be quite embarrassing. Obviously, this kind of diplomacy will be carefully choreographed. So you will only hear good things, wonderful, positive things about China or about the bilateral relationship with another country. And so this may minimize the opportunity for honest, critical, or nuanced discussion of major issues.
Analysts say Washington's shifting diplomacy under US President Donald Trump has forced longtime allies to rethink their own ties with Beijing. Trump's America First agenda has acted as a catalyst.
In this turbulent world, many people feel like China is a stabilizing force compared with the United States, which is pretty unpredictable and unreliable, even in the eyes of many US allies. China offers an alternative approach. It's a strong defender of the United Nations system and international order. So they want to hedge against the United States.
Amid the reshuffle, engagement with Russia has remained highly reciprocal and frequent. Apart from the pandemic years, Xi and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin have met annually during state visits.
面对变乱交织的国际局势，中俄关系的稳定性和确定性尤为宝贵。
There's also a shift in who Xi sees. The president is increasingly selective.
For some Western-led summits, Beijing has instead sent some other senior officials, such as Premier Li Qiang and Foreign Minister Wang Yi, as Xi has been delegating more responsibilities to his chosen and trusted deputies. So while rolling out red carpet for Global South, she's also having a very selective overseas trips that reflect Beijing's shift towards ramping up its diplomatic offensive. So by narrowing his focus to immediate neighbors such as ASEAN and East Asia, Central Asia, and key European partners, he's positioning China as the alternative pole to Washington.
But I do believe he will travel later this year. I'm not sure where he will go. Maybe he will visit some Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries perhaps. But the United States obviously is the most important country he may visit later this year. The United States will host the G20 in Miami in December 2026. That might be a good time.
Asian countries have been both Xi's top travel destinations and the most represented in the number of state visits hosted, the S&P data analysis revealed. Looking at the guest list in Beijing, visits to China from European countries have rebounded over the past 3 years, though they remain below pre-COVID levels. African leaders lead the pack, followed by the ASEAN bloc and Latin America. In this new era of diplomacy, the world is no longer just watching China. It is waiting for an invitation to the Great Hall.